Hey fam, it's your girl Jonna, and welcome to episode 2 of the Filling My Cup BRB podcast. Now this podcast is a wellness journey podcast where it's all about inspiring women to fill their cup so that they can pour into the people and passions in their lives. So on today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit more about the 8 pillars of wellness that we talked about in episode 1. I'm going to share some activities that you can do under each of those wellness pillars, and then I want to share a little bit about how you can challenge yourself to 100 days of wellness in the Keep It 100 challenge. There are 8 pillars of wellness that we'll be focusing on, and that this podcast will be based on. And so I want to kind of give you guys a little bit of idea of what kind of falls, or what are some activities that you can do under each one of the wellness pillars. If you want, I have a download of 100 self-care activities, and they're broken down by each pillar. So I'm going to be referencing a little bit of that. But then if you want the actual activities, some ideas, you can always click on the link in the description wherever you're listening to or watching this podcast, and it'll take you to where you can download the links, as well as you can get more information on the Keep It 100 challenge, so you can challenge yourself to 100 days of self-care. Pillar number 1 is physical, right? So the physical aspects of wellness. So some of that is, incorporating exercise, working out, physical activity, taking a warm bath or a shower, taking a nap, getting a facial, getting a massage, dressing up, or wearing a special outfit or something that makes you feel good. Those are all self-care activities under that physical wellness pillar. Next is social, the social wellness pillar. So these activities involve interacting with how we interact with others, or how we interact with ourselves. So having some alone time with your spouse or your significant other, having some alone time with yourself to journal and kind of get some of the thoughts out of your head, sending a greeting card to someone, or sending a text to someone that you haven't talked to in a while that you think of, when you think of them. Maybe having a family game night to get together with your family and friends. So those are like some of the social aspects of wellness. Okay, next is nutrition. Now, of course, people would put the physical and nutrition kind of together, but it could be a little bit more than that. And this is not just about eating healthy foods. This is also about eating foods that you enjoy and that bring you joy, maybe that are nostalgic or a part of your culture that's important to you, as well as foods that are nutritionally dense. Trying a new recipe that you saw on TikTok, or maybe taking a recipe that is passed down through your family. Maybe it's a cultural recipe that may not have the most nutrient dense ingredients in it, and maybe you make it more beneficial as far as nutrition is concerned. Or maybe it's you just pick one night of the week that you're not going to cook, that you're going to order out, and you budget for that. That is a part of your nutritional wellness. Then there's intellectual wellness. So this is learning something new. Maybe you get a library card like we did recently. We got library cards so that we could check out learning resources at the library, whether it be actual books, DVDs. You can even check out instruments. Maybe that's something you've always wanted to do, is learn how to play an instrument. Sign up for a class. Maybe you always wanted to learn to speak another language. Maybe you just try to take some classes to speak a new language, or you do a little YouTube university to try to learn how to speak a new language, but just things that will help expand you intellectually. Those are examples of intellectual wellness. Then there's emotional wellness. So this could involve like taking some time away from social media to decompress, being intentional about not looking at your phone or looking at the news or things that could be sad, you know, as soon as you wake up in the morning. Have a type of spiritual, emotional routine where you center yourself before you start your day. You know, it could be as simple as, you know, taking a 5-minute break while you're at work. You're working on like a stressful project. You take 5 minutes and just scroll social media and watch funny videos, watch funny TikToks. Of course, going to therapy, scheduling regular therapy sessions. Those are all things that you can do to improve your emotional wellness. Now, financial wellness, that's definitely important. It can involve something like setting aside money in your budget to donate to one of your favorite charities, because of course that makes you feel good knowing that you're, you know, contributing to helping others that are in need. But also just simply doing a budget, simply looking at your finances on a regular basis and not letting the bills pile up and not looking at them, but, you know, keeping account of your finances to a point, not to where it's unhealthy, but where you are able to manage and you're able to get on top of things and handle those things that you need to handle financially. Setting short-term financial goals, setting long-term financial goals, working on creating an emergency fund. You know, those are things that we can do to improve our financial wellness. Spiritual wellness, of course, is very important. Just having a routine, having a spiritual routine, whatever that may be for you, that is helpful. Some people incorporate gratitude journaling or other type of spiritual journaling into their spiritual wellness routine as well. So that's an example of working on your spiritual wellness. And then last is environmental wellness, and that more so types into the places where you reside and spend the most of your time. You know, that can involve decluttering space, better organization of the spaces where you are, whether it's your home, whether it's your work area. Also things like having lots of house plants or those types of things, putting up art on the walls, or other things that make you feel the most comfortable in the environment that you spend a lot of time. You know, these are things that you can do to improve your environmental wellness. So I hope that kind of gave you some ideas and kind of sparked some ideas of what those different wellness pillars are, what is involved in those. And let's get into the Keep It 100 challenge. So basically, this is a challenge where you challenge yourself for 100 days to incorporate 3 of these activities from this list or other things you think of into your daily life for 100 days. 2 things that you feel good when you do them, and 1 that you don't necessarily feel good doing it, but you know you're gonna feel good once it's done. So like for me, I don't really like decluttering, but I know I feel better once it's done. Or I don't really care for like putting my clothes back. Sometimes I just want to take them off and throw them, you know, on that chair. You know, everybody, y'all know that chair. You know, sometimes you just want to throw them on a chair, but I know I feel better when I actually fold them up and put them back in the drawer or hang them up in the closet. I know I feel better when I do that. So that is the Keeping It 100 challenge. So again, if you go to the description box or wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast, click on the link and you'll get more information about the self-care activities, the 100 self-care activities, as well as the Keeping It 100 challenge. So I hope this inspires you to start your own wellness journey. If you needed something to kind of like hold you accountable, maybe trying the Keep It 100 challenge is a way to like help you keep yourself accountable for 100 days. If you do it for the 100 days, like, you are winning, you are in there. So I'm going to be starting the Keep It 100 challenge on November 27th for myself when this podcast launched. So by the time you listen to this episode, I'll already be started, but you start whenever you can, and hashtag or tag us in your content if you share on social media. There's little prompts and everything for you to share on social media as well. So check it out, and I hope you guys enjoy listening to this podcast episode. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking some time to fill your cup with us, and we'll be right back in the next episode. Bye.